What's happening? Yogi Roth. Welcome to my YouTube channel, wherever you may be listening or watching. Might be on Facebook as well. Trying to do this once a week, like we referenced before, where we dive into college football, recruiting. Who knows? Any of your interests that you may have, let me know what they may be so we can have a conversation. Today, I want to talk about the Pac-12 schedule. Just got released yesterday. It was on the Pac-12 networks all yesterday morning alongside Ashley Adamson, revealing all 12 teams' schedules. And I think there's a bunch that stands out. I think big picture, this is going to come down to the last couple weeks of the season again. I don't think there's a runaway team. I don't think there's a runaway schedule where anybody has an easy path. For instance, SC, they got to go 9 straight games. Not going to be easy. They play in a week 0 game, and then they have a bye before the title game. So if they're able to make it through that 9-game slate, they'll have a breather, but I think it's going to be a challenge for them. Storyline there. Washington, Oregon, week 7. This game's going to be awesome. And I think as you look at the contenders, at least when you look at last year, 6 teams finished in the top 21 in the final AP poll. It was an awesome year in Pac-12 football, and a lot of talent is coming back. Cam Rising coming back to Utah. Michael Penix Jr., he was on our show yesterday, coming back to UW. Bo Nix, of course, coming back to Oregon. They are primed for another special season. USC, UCLA, and Oregon State. I want to dive into Oregon State because I think their schedule allows them to do some special things this season. Before that, I think it's important to note a couple things about the schedule, kind of big picture when you're looking at it. Nobody starts the season off with consecutive road games in conference play. I thought that was really important and well done by the conference. Also, everybody other than USC has their bye week in weeks 5 through 8, which I think sets up most teams to be pretty fresh in the back half of the season. So let's go to the Oregon State Beavers. I've been tracking the Beavs for a long time. I'm pulling out my favorite stat about Oregon State and Jonathan Smith. This is amazing. In year 1, when he got there, they were negative 235 in point differential, meaning they got beat by a lot. In year 2, it was negative 16. That was 2019. 2020 was minus 31, but it was an awkward year. We all know that. 2021, it was plus 71. And this year, it was plus 132. So this thing is tracking in Corvallis in a very powerful way. They bring in another quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei. They've added this roster in the transfer portal and high school recruiting. They bring back their staff. Trent Bray gets an extension. Their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Smith. They have everything they want. And oh, by the way, this year, they are going to be playing in the refurbished Reser Stadium, which is off the chart. So when I look at their schedule, their non-cons, they're not going to be easy, right? Brent Brennan, good friend, San Jose State to kick it off. UC Davis and Dan Hawkins. You know that name. He's an icon in college football. San Diego State won't be easy. Then you look at Washington State. Going on the road, that will be a challenge. And then it's the circle game right there on that Friday night against Utah. That's a moment. And when I've talked to Jonathan Smith in the past, especially this past year, I called the USC game, called the game the very following week against Utah, and he often referenced the idea and the concept of special wins. We need special wins. And those were 2 opportunities last year. They lost the SC game on one of the top 2 throws in college football last year. Remember the throw from Caleb Williams to Jordan Addison, right corner of the end zone, whole shot, perfect location, perfect ball. SC wins a challenging game on the road. And then they have 4 turnovers the very next week. Starting quarterback Chance Nolan gets a neck injury. He doesn't play the rest of the year. They didn't get a special win necessarily until they beat Oregon in the rivalry game that we've all grown to love. This year has a chance for some of those special wins. And look where some of them are located. I go to that Friday night. It's going to be awesome. They'll already have some home games to unveil that stadium. But this will be, to me, a big-time advantage for them. 2 years ago, I called the game against Utah that they won in Reser Stadium. Remember the left-handed block punt from Luke Musgrave. The place went crazy. Jack Coletto was on set with Ashley and our crew afterwards. It was awesome. The environment's going to be off the hook in that. Then they get UCLA at home 2 weeks later. And then they get their bye week. Their bye week is the latest bye week of anybody in the Pac-12 other than what I referenced about SC not having to play the final weekend of the season. So I think they're set up there to be healthy. Now, it's not easy. You look at their last 2, UW at home and then, of course, at Oregon on a Friday right after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. It's not going to be a walk, but I think it's set up really well. They miss SC, they miss Arizona State. I think they've got the tools to take a real run, to get special wins, and find a way to play in Las Vegas. That is the next natural step for this team. I don't think we can continue to talk about Oregon State as just a sleeper. That's going to happen because Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Cam Rising coming back. But Oregon State, depending what happens at quarterback, look, Ben Gobranson was 7-1 last year. DJ Uiagalelei may be the starter. He's a guy who won some big games at Clemson. They might have the best running back on the West Coast in Damian Martinez. They've got playmakers, did well in the transfer portal. I'm excited to watch this team. And I think we need to be talking about this team in the same dialogue as the other teams that finish the season very well in Pac-12 play, especially the ones that have returning quarterbacks. So that's my spiel. Let me know if you agree, disagree. What do you think about the Beavs? I'm all in on Oregon State. It won't be easy. I don't know if they'll get to Vegas. There's a lot of time between now and the Pac-12 title game, a lot of time between now and spring ball. The portal opens up again May 1st, and the talent in this league has never been what it is in the history of this league. I've been in the Pac-10, Pac-12 about 20 years now. I've never seen the depth and the talent so incredible as what we have this year. So nobody's going to have a walk. Nobody has a weak sauce, week 11 opponent that's an FCS team. Like, you got to throw it down every week. I think the way the schedule's laid out among all the teams in the Pac-12, I think for Oregon State, with what they have returning and what I project them to be, they got a path that could end up in Las Vegas. So let me know what you think. And any questions, hit me up. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. You just check it out at yogiroth.com. Listen to the podcast, Ted Robinson and I, The It Factor. I do it on the Pac-12 networks, and all the content we're doing on the Pac-12 YouTube channel. We'll be breaking down every one of these schedules as well. So a lot of content, may not have games, but there's still a lot of college football to talk about.